This week's Power Tradition brings us up into the Smoky Mountains, where a certain song that echoes throughout Neyland Stadium in the fall finds its roots. Of course, the only song I could be talking about is Rocky Top.
Well, if you come to a game, it's played more than the real fight song. If you ask a diehard Bleeding Orange fan, they're probably going to tell you it's Rocky Top. And it is probably the best love song in Knoxville and probably the most hated song in the rest of the SEC.
They were up in the Gatlinburg Inn writing this Golden Years album. And my mother was just getting tired. She says, I feel like I've aged 20 years up here writing this album. Let's write something peppy. Let's just take a break. And my dad says, no, Felice, we've got to do this. This is our job. Let's get this finished. Then we can write anything you want. She persisted, and Dad got a little bit irritated and went, okay, grabbed his guitar and said, wish that I was on old Rocky Top. How about that? What do you think? And she said, I like it. Let's write it. And it took about 10 minutes. And sometimes when a song is written quickly, it's a sign that there's something there.
Rocky Top did a lot of its own writing, but even though the creative timetable for Abuelo and Felice Bryant in 1967 might have been an easy brew for the duo, it took time for Rocky Top to ferment with the fans. It did not become a hit until the Osborne brothers recorded it. However, in 1972, during halftime of the Alabama game, Dr. Julian added it to the Pride of the Southlands playlist.
Dr. Julian was really the midwife, so to speak. If my parents were the people who gave it birth, he was the practitioner, the doctor who delivered it.
It is so simple and catchy that Rocky Top itself is repeated 19 times while describing the easygoing East Tennessee lifestyle. Iconic figures and coaches have conducted the Big Orange hit after huge Tennessee wins.
At first I thought it was going to be where the coach would come up the ladder and conduct Rocky Top, but he has now turned it to sort of the player of the game, be it AJ or somebody like that. But I did tell Coach, before the season started, I hope we play it so much that it wears his arm out.
On game days, when you hear the announcers talk about how many times Rocky Top is played or how much the other team hates it. I remember reading a story once that Notre Dame was practicing with Rocky Top blaring as loud as they could get it in their stadium because they knew that that's what they'd be facing.
Neyland Stadium itself is tough to prepare for, but the preparation for Rocky Top makes a statement of the song's presence, and if that still does not tell you how many times the song is played, the Pride of the Southlands clicker will.
That moment when you hear it in the stadium or you hear 100,000 people singing it, this song belongs to the university. It belongs to the student body for the last 40 years. I said, it is part of the heart of this school. The student body itself has added to the song, has indeed become, in one sense, a co-writer. They own it. And that woo is like saying, we own Rocky Top.
For UTSports.com, I'm Sami Kincaid.